you're gonna be able to clear this out eventually with the ground troops following up, and this was the drop that came in much earlier for Ruby that, yeah, I mean, did a decent amount of damage. And it looks like Ruby comes in again at the northern end of the tank line of Flash and is going to be able to clear this out. But it looks like he's lost another dropship or two. Looks like he's down to like 3 or 4 dropships, and while Flash is still on 5 or 6, and he's coming in here with his reinforcing units flashes, and he's going to be able to clear this out. And I think Ruby is starting to fall behind in terms of military, but if he can get those 2 bases up and running, that will be huge. It does look like Flash is going for his 4th base at the has his 4th base up at the 5 o'clock position, going for his 5th base at the 2 o'clock position. And Ruby trying to establish his dominance over the 1 o'clock base with some turrets, trying to say that this is my spot. Don't you dare come into my house. And I would like to pay attention to the upgrades. I forgot to check it out again. But I'll try and catch that for you, see if either player has gotten to finish their +2. I imagine both have gotten to +2 at this point. Big SCV transfers coming up for Ruby right now, and I hope Ruby goes and defends this northern area as Flash is sending his dropships over there. It looks like Ruby's actually going to try and go on the offensive. Not going to be very successful here. Really needs to get those dropships out. Only 2 dropships there for Ruby, and loses the one of them, so only 1 dropship left for Ruby. Really awful right now. He's lost a lot of dropships. He really needs to get some more out. Can't really afford to keep losing them right now. They're valuable gas. They cost the same amount of gas as a tank, so very expensive to lose. A lot of glides there at that 1 o'clock base, though. I don't think the command center has actually come up yet, but a lot of glides there to defend. And there's the command center going up. So Ruby's going to try and get to 6 bases, and it looks like Flash is doing the same. Both players are going to split this map in a diagonal line in half, and you can see it very visibly where that line is. It's going to be 6 base on 6 base. I think Ruby's will come up a little bit earlier. Not enough to really matter, I don't think, considering Flash has a little bit of a military advantage so far this game. Looks like Ruby's also throwing down another starport. Maybe, I don't know if he needs more dropships. Maybe science vessels would be kind of weird right now. Maybe transition later on into battle cruisers could also be very effective as well. Since if you have 6 gas, go battle cruisers. Now we're seeing the first-person view from Flash as he's dropping in here. He's going to clear out the northern end of the tank line of Ruby, and Flash just has a huge army right now. That's a ridiculous number of tanks. That is a ton of tanks, and Ruby really needs to come in with a counter drop. He can't just use this with normal force. They're not going to be enough to really push this back, or at least kill it. The most he can hope to do is just like stall it right now, but it's in a bad spot for him because, well, he's not really going to be able to easily defend his top 3 bases right now. Seeing the first-person view of Ruby now, as he's kind of got to be in kind of a scramble mode right now. I think he's got 4 dropships, needs to load them up, needs to do what he can to defend the his northern 3 bases because he does not want to lose those. If he loses any of those northern bases and is unable to stop any of Flash's eastern bases, that's going to be a real problem for him. And Flash is trying to push hard here at the north. He's got a lot of tanks moving into the area. We do have the 4 dropships coming in for Ruby. If they can get in here to the back of the tanks and start doing a little bit of a drop here, they could clear this out. And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. I think Ruby's going to be able to clear this out. Yeah, Ruby is going to be able to clear this out. Pulls off some FCVs for good measure. But another drop coming in for Flash. 6 more dropships. Loaded up, 7 more dropships loaded up, going to be able to do a ton of damage, especially considering they have the high ground. SCV's trying to do what they can, trying to take out a couple of these tanks, but I don't know if they're really going to be as successful. These Goliaths are going to be enough to take them all down. 1 tank still surviving for Flash along with those Goliaths. My voice is starting to go, wow, this is awesome. And not that my voice is giving out, but that this game is really, really epic right now. Ruby putting up a great fight, making this a very entertaining TVT right now. Between these 2 players, it's really quite epic right now. It looks like neither player has really shown any battle cruiser tech. We have the science facilities, of course, up for both players as they have their upgrades. But no battle cruiser tech. That would be the next step in the evolution of TVT. Once you get past this heavy dropship play, would be battle cruisers. And Flash coming in here for a drop at the 1 o'clock position with his dropships not gonna drop as he realized that he would likely be counter dropped and probably end up in a really bad spot. So he's just gonna back off, play it a little bit safer here. Neither player losing any bases, which is very, very important. So just a huge macro game right now. Flash is gonna come to the 1 o'clock position now. He's gonna lose a lot of dropships, I think. He's lost 1 dropship already. Probably gonna lose only losing 1 dropship now. Okay, there's the second dropship. Does go down, but Ruby doesn't really have too many force over that. I think he's got like 4 or 5 tanks that will have to unsiege and wander into the area, so it's not a real good spot for Ruby. Ruby's losing a lot of tanks right now, and Flash, it looks like reinforcing as well, bringing in a couple dropships worth of units as well. And it looks like Ruby's probably going to lose his base at the 1 o'clock position, at least for the time being, until he can ferry in some more units to defend it. It's a little bit of a problem for Ruby. Not a big deal. I think the important part from that base is the gas. And like, since the gas is on the northern end, it'll take the longest time for Flash to really stop that mining. So as long as he's still mining gas, he's not really falling too far behind. I imagine both players still have a good amount of minerals. That the minerals aren't going to be too big of a deal. Both players look like they've mined out their mains, but the naturals are still going. Probably weak, but still going. And it looks like finally Flash is going to clear out the last units at the northern end of that 1 o'clock base. And he's ferrying more units. I think this is going to be late counter drop from Ruby. Ruby's trying to bring in some more forces, but he's dropping off the low ground. Oh, Ruby, what are you doing? Dropping your units off in the low ground. Oh, awful for Ruby. And, actually taking down more tanks of Flash than I really expect him to, firing from that mischance. Maybe the mischance didn't take as much effect, but he's not going to be able to retake that 1 o'clock base now. I don't think that was a good decision at all for him to drop at the low ground, accepting the mischance. And, you know, I mean, 40% mischance, that's a huge damage reduction. That's 40% less damage that you're really doing over time to your opponent. That's harsh. That's harsh. And, yeah, a little bit of, I don't know if that was a mistake or maybe he felt like he had to go there, but there really weren't a lot of Goliaths for Flash, so I don't think he was really forced to. Now Flash from this upper high ground is going to be able to take out the natural as well. So that'll be 2 bases down for Ruby. And that becomes a very troubling situation now. 2 bases down is really awful. Ruby is going to have to dedicate pretty much everything that he can into this area. He's moving a lot of his ground forces into position there. Flash reinforcing with as many tanks as he can as well. Flash knows that if he can keep his foot on Ruby's throat up here and take this down, that he will have a victory in the bag. And Ruby's counter drop is being counter dropped, so we've got a counter to the counter drop going on. And if this base goes down, I mean, Flash is going to win this game. He's just too far ahead. That's exactly what it looks like we're going to have right here. And I think Ruby's just about done. He's lost control of this base, so he's down 6 bases. Well, 5 mining bases to 3, and 6 gas really to 4 gas. And yeah, bad news right now for Ruby. Yeah, nothing else really to say there in terms of this. I mean, he's lost control of this northern area. He's trying to drop more units in there, but Flash still macroing like a beast, like a champion, like a demon, and just sending more and more force up there. And Ruby unable to really hold on here. He's gonna be able to make this a game for a little bit longer, but I think he's done. It's just a matter of time. I don't know how long he's gonna wait to GG, but he's pretty much out of it after losing his 5th base. And Flash is steamrolling through. He's going to go for the 4th base now of Ruby. Probably going to load up one more big drop. Going to drop in there. Ruby's going to go for a counter drop. Probably not enough forces to really to save his base, and GG will come. There's the GG, so not even going to wait for that. Ruby forced to GG. Flash getting the win. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Very, very epic TVT. I did pay attention to the top of the screen. I don't even know who's winning in the series. But it looks like that's Flash's 8th win, I think, of the Pro League. I think that's what that means. I think. So, dominating definitely performance. I think he's more than 8 wins. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I always forget what the stars mean. But yeah, doing a great job. I hope you guys enjoyed that TV thing. I think Efren and Jangy will be coming out to you next.